Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. I am glad you're there because what we're going to talk about today are mistakes that people make every single day, even healthy people. And I've kind of covered this in other shows, but this is a big topic, so I've got new ones for you today. So I have patients come to me all the time. I've been in practice 37 years. Patients come to me all the time and they say, Dr. Joe, I live a very healthy lifestyle. I eat very well. And then I go and look at their lifestyle and I go, wrong answer. So we want to talk about things that you can do that you may be doing that you think are right that are actually wrong. So it's a fun show because you're going to get a lot of, again, rapid fire fun ideas. And I always have way too much information for the little time we have. So one of the things, people think they can burn the candle at both ends. You think you can get away with stuff and you don't have to sleep as much. Can't do it. The body needs rest. The body heals when it rests. Now, there are those exceptional people in the world that maybe get away with less sleep. However, for the normal Joes like you and me, and Joe, my producer, we're just a pair of Joes, it can leave you grumpy and distracted, but it can also lead to things like dementia, heart disease, diabetes, obesity. It can weaken your immune system, increase depression, anxiety, ongoing pain. As a pain management specialist, and I broke my back, my neck and my low back, and I got hit by a car. I had severe traumatic brain injury when I was a child. I understand chronic pain very well. So when a patient comes in, I can empathize with them. I say, listen, I know what you're going through. So sleep is the time when the body's able to heal, but you can't sleep many times because of what you do during the day. I can't do any type of monosodium glutamate, natural flavors, yeast extract, monosodium glutamate, any of these things, even in small amounts, they're excitotoxins to the brain. And my brain, extremely sensitive, I'm going to guess probably due to my traumatic brain injury when I was a kid. I got hit by a car and I thought I was dead. So severe traumatic brain injury opens up the glutamic acid gate. It allows glutamic acid to be released from damaged cells, and the glutamic acid is an excitotoxin, and it causes the brain to fire faster than it's supposed to. So I'm guessing, and there's no way to prove this, that because I had traumatic brain injury, my body releases glutamic acid, and when I put a little bit more in, it triggers headaches. So sleep is a big issue, and you got to decide what you're doing during the day to determine how well you're going to sleep. So even if I eat a processed veggie burger, again, I'm vegan, if you don't know that. I haven't had animal products in 35 years, and in fact, I was just talking to my boss yesterday, and I told him how old I was. He said, I thought you were 15 years younger than you are. He says, and I work with you every day. I said, not bad. He goes, I got to start living your lifestyle. He goes, I'm younger than I think you are, and I still look older than you. So, but lifestyle really works. Trust me. I want to live a long time. I want to have a lot of fun. And I have a lot of young friends, so I got to stay around for them. My old friends, I figure they're going to leave me soon, so unless they change their diets. I'm smiling when I said that. So if you're doing things that are exciting to the body, monosodium glutamate, aspartame, artificial sweetener. Aspartame is an excitotoxin to the brain. Caffeine, meats, dairy products, sugars. These are acids that are stimulating to the body that can affect your sleep. So try an experiment. Try eating your typical diet if you have a bad diet. And if you have sleep issues, you'll see it. And then for about a week, I want you to switch, especially your dinner, but preferably all your meals, to something much lighter. Maybe chickpeas, beans, hummus, salads. Now, if you eat too much watery fruits at night, like watermelon, you can get up and pee. But if you can eat from my book, Eating Right for the Health of It. I have a book that has about over 200 recipes in it. It's on the website, drjoe.com. And by the way, if you follow us on social media, we post a lot of recipes from the book for free. So it's at Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Follow us there. You're going to get free recipes. How about that? You don't even have to spend your $16 for the book. You get them for free. But buy the book if you want them all at once. So if you follow us on social media, we're going to post recipes on a regular basis, and you can make some lighter foods for dinner, and let's see if you sleep better. Get those excitotoxins and stimulants out of your diet, the heavy acids, the meats, the sugars, the dairies, the alcohols, monosodium glutamate, aspartame. Let's see what happens. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So what? You ate well for a couple of months. But if I'm right, which I am, that's going to help your sleep, and that's going to help every other aspect of your health. Your body sends out signals from your hypothalamus saying that you're hungry. Now, many times we overeat because we're not hungry, we're thirsty. What does that mean? When you're born, there's two parts of your brain that one controls hunger, one controls thirst. As you get older, those two parts of the brain grow together. So many, many, many times when you're hungry, you're not hungry, you're thirsty. So here's a simple challenge, and it's free. I want you to have a big glass of water, 8, 10, 12, 16 ounces, whatever you want, before every meal. 5 minutes before. Watch how much less you eat. If I teach you nothing else, but you'll save a ton of money, just have a glass of water before every meal. You will be fascinated how much less you eat, because the signals in the brain, you're perceiving it as hunger when really it's thirst. Not soda, not coffee, not a double scotch on the rocks, plain old glass of water. And you will be fascinated how much money you save, how much less you eat, how much more energy you'll have, how much you'll lose weight. I couldn't give you a simpler tip than that one. So drink more water, and especially before a meal. If you sit a lot, which a lot of us do, especially with crises where people have to work from home, that's not good. So what I tell you to do is set a clock, an alarm on your computer or whatever you're doing, and get up and walk 30 seconds or a minute every hour. Now, the best way to walk is called a cross crawl. Now, this is a great little tip. What you do is you bring your right elbow to your left knee and your left elbow to your right knee, marching basically. And I want you to march in place for 30 seconds every hour. You will be amazed how much more energy you have, how much clearer your brain will be, how your balance and coordination will improve. It's called a cross crawl, and it's integrating the right and left hemispheres of your brain. All day, we segregate our brains. We use the mouse. We talk on the phone. We brush our teeth, using one side of the body more than the other. So very simply, if every hour you get up and do a cross crawl, you will be fascinated how much better your brain works, how much more energy you'll have. And that is going to reverse some of the damage from sitting. There was a study I reported on a while ago that sitting is the new smoking. If you sit too much, it's bad for your health. I don't think it's as bad as smoking, but get up there and do your cross crawl. I think you'll be fascinated with the results. And you're going to eat a lot less too, because your brain's going to work more efficiently. Because if your brain is tired, what happens when you're tired? You get hungry. Brain's saying, fuel me up, baby. Give me fuel. Well, if you cross crawl and integrate the brain, you're utilizing the fuel that you have more efficiently. And I think you'll be very happy with the results. So mistake people make, even that are healthy, they sit too much. And then they think, well, I'm going to go to the gym for 45 minutes or an hour at the end of the day. Doesn't make up for it. I'd rather see you do the cross crawl every hour for 30 seconds or a minute. Probably better for you than going to the gym for a whole hour and sitting all day. How's that for easy? I just got you out of the gym. Like you like that. If you brush your teeth too soon after eating something acidic, you could be driving that acid into your teeth. So if you're eating tomato juice or oranges, these acid foods, vinegars, and you brush your teeth right away, you can be driving the acid into the enamel. So what I recommend you do, if you're going to brush your teeth right after a meal, I recommend that you just swish your mouth out with some water. It's very simple. Swish it out, spit it out, or swallow it. Doesn't really matter. And that's going to help get that acid off your teeth. But if you wait a half hour or so after your meal, you're going to find that that acid has been dissolved anyway. Your mouth is pretty good at alkalizing those problems. Another problem I've seen many times in my career is people come in with ear infections. And the reason is they've been using cotton swabs in their ears. Your ear is self-cleaning. You don't need to use a cotton swab. Because what happens is your ear produces wax, and the wax protects the ear canal and from viruses, germs, bugs, bacteria from getting into the eardrum and actually causing some serious damage. So your body produces wax, and every time you chew, that's me chewing. Whenever you chew, that chewing motion pushes the wax forward through the canal. So eventually it's going to come out. So you can use a washcloth with your finger and clean the outer part of your ear, clean behind the ears. But don't stick anything into the canal because you're taking out the wax. And that wax is so important for the function of your health and preventing infections from getting in. I remember years ago, I did a study on cold and flu. And one of the hypotheses, if that's the plural of hypothesis, was that viruses and germs probably aren't getting in through your nose because you have hair and you have in your nose and you have mucus, but your ear canal. If you clean your ear too much, viruses can get into your ear canal, travel down the eustachian tube into the throat, and set up shop. And many times, you get a sore throat on one side of your throat, and it's oftentimes when people clean their ears a lot. So stop cleaning your ears. You can, like I said, wipe it out if you want to with your finger, but not anything more than that. If you have a wound, Very important that you don't use hydrogen peroxide or alcohol to clean it. I cut my finger really bad about a year and a half ago. I thought I was going to lose a tip of my finger, actually. And it was bad. I could see the bone. It was really rough. And so I wanted to clean it right away, but I remembered, don't put hydrogen peroxide on it, because the hydrogen peroxide eats away at the cells around the edges of the cut. And it can prevent them from healing. It kills the cells on both sides of the cut, and that's how the cut heals. It grows together. So I don't want you using hydrogen peroxide. You can use soap and water, mild soap and water, which is what I did. Mild soap and water. You can put a layer of petroleum jelly on it if you want to keep it moist. You don't want a scab to form too quickly. You want the cells to start to heal first, and then a scab form afterwards. And so I did everything I was supposed to do, went to an emergency room, doctor, one of these doc in the boxes, and she looked at it, and she goes, yeah, that's a pretty big cut. She said, I can stitch it or not. She said, this tissues on both sides are still healthy. She said, it's going to grow together either way. You want stitches or not? I said, no, I'll go without the stitches. And she said, okay. And I just kept it clean, and it healed. And it's still, it was very traumatic, and it's still a tiny bit stiff. But that was, I guess, about 2 years ago. But I didn't get an infection, and it healed perfectly. You can barely see where the two pieces of skin came together. So don't use hydrogen peroxide. Don't use alcohol. Mild soap and water, little oil on top of it, or petroleum jelly, and that should be okay. Another issue I have that healthy people are doing, and I just saw this the other day when I went to my subdivision swimming pool, is people slathering on the sunscreen. Now, I did a show a couple weeks ago on sunscreen. It's on our website. I think it's on our website, drjoe.com. Joe's nodding his head, so it's there. Just type in the word sunscreen. It should come up. It's also on our podcast. If you're a podcast junkie, just type in Dr. Joe for the health of it in your podcast service. And we have a ton of podcasts there, too. We have it on the website, drjoe.com. So what happens is we did a show on sunscreen, and the bottom line of the whole show was this. The safe sunscreens to use have one of the two ingredients, zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. Zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, those are okay sunscreens. If they have any other chemicals in them whatsoever, I recommend you don't use it. You can actually increase your risk of skin cancer. And it was funny because I did this show, and like 2 days later, there was an announcement that one of the big, a couple, I guess, of the big sunscreen companies took all the products off the market that had benzene in it. Benzene has zero benefit to humans and has zero tolerance. There is no safe level of benzene. And yet these companies kept using benzene. And the reason was that according to the FDA, if there's no other way to make your products and you have to use a toxic chemical, the FDA says, well, okay, at least you're getting the product on the market. But there are other ways to make sunscreen without benzene. It's just cheap. So I was, once again, I was right. Dr. Joe was right, column. And so the only sunscreens you should be using are zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. How do you know? Well, read the ingredients, but they leave a white film on you. That's the actual mechanical barrier to the sun. I do not recommend you use any spray-on sunscreens because even if it's zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, it's called a nanoparticle. They've made it so small that it can be sprayed out as an aerosol. Those can get in your lungs and cause some real serious damage. So you think you're being smart by being a good parent and spraying your kid down with these commercial sunscreens. They're inhaling the toxic chemicals. The benzene may be in there, and it's other chemicals as well. Rub it on. A mild white coating is fine. Zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, that's what's safe. Now, it's good to get sun. Sun is important, but too much sun can be damaging. So what I try to tell you to do is get out of the sun. 20 minutes maximum, maybe, depending where you are, close to the equator. You got to be carefuler. More careful? Carefuler? Is that a word? More careful. Because the sun is more intense. So get out of the sun, cover up, big hats. Years ago, I was down in Brazil, and I went to a place called Foz do Iguaçu, which is beautiful waterfalls. And I'm not a man for souvenirs or anything like that, but that is really cool hat. It's like a safari hat, and it had a big drape in the back of it to cover up your neck. And I got it. I thought it was a really smart idea because you should cover up your neck. This way the sun doesn't beat on your neck and burn your neck. Because too much sun damage can, of course, lead to cancer. You got to be careful with that. Other things that healthy people do that they probably shouldn't be doing. Looking at your phone before you go to bed. How many people do that? Raise your hands. What I do is I check my phone one more time, set my alarm, usually 6 o'clock, 5 or 6 o'clock. and I put it across the room. I don't even put it next to my bed because we did a show a while ago on electromagnetic frequencies, EMFs. And electromagnetic frequencies can adversely affect your health. So if you put the phone next to your bed or sleep with the phone in your bed, which is kills me when I see people do this, even especially teenagers, you're literally frying your brain cells. So I'm very concerned about electromagnetic frequencies. So put your phone, mine is probably 10, 12, 14 feet away from my bed. So if the alarm goes off, I'm still going to hear it. But also, I'm not scrolling on my phone either. I put it away from me because otherwise it's easy to scroll and fall asleep, but that's very dangerous. Because the light, even the blue light, the body thinks that it's daylight. And it affects the pineal gland, so you're not releasing melatonin properly, and so you may not get to sleep properly. So put the phone down, put it far away from you. You'll do a lot better. Read a book. That's a better choice. I like to watch TV before I go to bed. That's still a screen, but it doesn't seem to be as bad as holding the phone right to your face. So not a good idea. Another thing that people don't do, and I talked about this earlier about my father, he had what might have been mild prostate inflammation. They thought maybe it's cancer. So they gave him a drug, and he was in his 70s, 72. And they said, we're going to give you this drug, and it's going to lower your body's reaction to testosterone. You're going to lower your production of testosterone, and that's going to help reduce the prostate. Well, testosterone is necessary for your biceps, your triceps, your pectorals, your gluteus maximus. How about your heart? How about your lungs? How about your blood vessels? These are all muscles too. Your colon. And he gave him the medication. A week later, he was dead. And the doctor, shame on this doctor, and I don't know who it was even, and I didn't want to know because I was furious, that he had a heart condition. And that medication should never be given to people with heart conditions. Well, a lot of you are taking medications, but you never look at the drug interactions. So if you're taking medication, that includes food, supplements, drugs, interactions can make it less effective or cause a lot of unwanted side effects. For example, did you know that if you take birth control pills, grapefruit juice or grapefruits can lower the effectiveness of birth control pills? Bet you didn't know that. So always look up the drug interactions with food and with other drugs and see what's going on there, because it's really important that you understand that. And then you say, well, gosh, I'm taking this high blood pressure medication. Maybe I shouldn't take it with this food or this whatever. Even Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Essential Source is high in vitamin K. If you're on blood thinners, vitamin K can clot your blood, and you're on blood thinners trying to thin the blood, you got a battle going on. So what I tell our patients is if you're going to take Super Greens, especially Essential Source, has more vitamin K in it, tell your doctor, this is what I'm taking. Take it every day. Take the supplement every day. Let the doctor reevaluate your blood work, and then they can modify the dosage of their drugs if necessary. I will tell you this. I've never known anyone to have to modify their medication dosage. And in many cases, when you change your diet, your blood naturally gets thin. And the easy way to thin your blood is cut out all your saturated fats, your animal proteins, meat, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs, ice cream. You cut out the animal proteins, the saturated fat isn't there clumping the red blood cells together. The blood flows thinner, and in many cases, the patients come off their blood thinners. How cool is that? And then you can take all the vitamin K you want. So once again, blood thinners are there to treat the symptom, which I absolutely say take them if you need them. But if I can get to the cause of why you have thick blood, many times you don't need the blood thinners. And almost always, it's a dietary issue. And you have control of what you eat. Nobody's forcing you to eat anything. So you decide what goes in your mouth. And when you go to a simple diet, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, more plant-based foods, and you cut out the animal proteins and the sugars and the alcohols and the artificial sweeteners, I've never, in 40 years of teaching, had a patient say, I regret doing that, Dr. Joe. Never. I've seen thousands, probably tens of thousands of patients in my career. No one has ever said that was a stupid move on my part. So I got a 100% success rate. So if you don't know what to eat, go to our website, drjoe.com, and you can type in, so what can I eat? And you can listen to the show we did on So What Can I Eat? If you want to know what not to eat, listen to the show called The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition. They're on the website. It's absolutely free, drjoe.com. And if you have a health issue and you want to make an appointment to come see us, my team of doctors, who I consider some of the finest doctors in the world, would be thrilled to have the opportunity to have you as a patient. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com, You can book it right online, or you can call us. The phone number's right there, and we're more than happy to set you up an appointment. We would love the opportunity to help you get well and stay well for you, your friends, your family, and your children. Kids have spines. Kids have nutrition issues. Bring them in. Let's get them taken care of. So it's all there on the website, drjoe.com. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. The initial visit, if you do everything we offer on the first and second visit, it's about $700. We've reduced that to $299. I can't make it easier, folks, unless you come to your house, which I'm not going to do. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first adjustment, going over the x-rays on your follow-up visit, and a complete nutrition evaluation. If you're serious about wanting to get well, do it now. My doctors, just so you know, book up very quickly. So if you want to make an appointment with any of us, you need to do it right away, drjoe.com. You can always call us for availability if you need more, but you can book it right online. You'll see that there. So we're talking today about mistakes even healthy people make. The big one is artificial sweetener. You think that you're doing well by using artificial sweetener. Of the 7 deadly sins, artificial sweetener is the worst. So sugar-free foods have aspartame in them. Aspartame breaks into aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methyl esters. Aspartic acid, excitotoxin to the brain. Number one side effect of aspartic acid is headaches. So if you're doing any artificial sweetener, it's in about 5,000 products, it could be why you're having your headaches. It breaks down to methanol, methyl esters, which is methanol, which is wood alcohol, which is highly toxic to the kidneys, your vision. You can go blind from methanol. So I strongly advise you don't use any artificial sweeteners. If you have to use a sweetener, stevia, xylitol, monk fruit, erythritol, there are things that make things taste sweet that are not nearly as dangerous as the artificial sweeteners. Sucralose. Sucralose activates your estrogen receptor sites. Body thinks it has too much estrogen. And when that occurs, too much estrogen can cause abnormal cell growth. So I'm begging you, please cut out the artificial sweeteners. Of the 7 deadly sins, if you had to pick one, artificial sweetener is the worst. And that's a mistake a lot of healthy people make because they think that they're being healthy by using artificial sweetener and not sugar. Another mistake I see people make, and I've been guilty of this too, is ignoring your mental health. You think you're bulletproof. You think you're young. You can muscle through anything. Rest is extremely important. Sanity is very important. So getting things out of your life that are toxic are really important. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches, numbness, tingling, folks, that's exhausting. Come see us. My team of doctors are really good in most cases, not every case, in most cases of managing pain and getting to the cause of the pain, not just treating the symptoms. Chemical problems. You have control over what you eat. You have control over the supplements you take. Minimum supplements, I would say Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're 2 powders, very inexpensive if you look at what you're getting for them, and they're on the website, drjoe.com, or come by and pick them up. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. I take a digestive enzyme if I eat a cooked meal. I think you should carry digestive enzymes with you, and if you have a cooked meal with nothing raw, take a digestive enzyme. I take it every day. It keeps me young. I take B-complex. I take adrenal support. I take nitric oxide to open up my blood vessels. Helps my brain work more efficiently. I take omega-3 fatty acids. So if you go to the website, we have little suggestions for different health issues in the store section of the website. And you can go there and look up certain packages, so to speak, that we put together. If you have a health issue, you can send me questions through the website, drjoe.com. I'm more than happy to answer your questions for you. But best thing is just come see us. Again, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We want to be your doctors. And the website is drjoe.com. And we accept most insurances too. So I can't make it easier for you. We have multiple locations. We accept insurance. My doctors are some of the best in the world. Again, the website, drjoe.com.